Hello, everyone. Welcome and welcome back to Pamela's Crochet and Knit Corner. I am Pam and I am a crocheter who knits a bit. It's nice to be back again. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to anyone that is new, and thank you for whoever sent you over. I am glad that you are here. It is Friday in Southern California, and I am back with another video. This is episode 68. I am looking over here because I have notes over here. On this channel, we kick it old school style. So if you have a pen and pad, you might want to grab it. I know you saw the thumbnail, so guess what that means? This episode is pretty much about Pinky J. And who is Pinky J? Pinky J is my Jamit knitting machine, and we'll get to her in a moment. I don't edit, so what you see is what you get. And if I make a flub or a mistake, I will correct it in the description box below. I do leave links in the description box, so whatever I talk about, I'll be sure and try and do that. Stick around. I have a couple of announcements towards the end. You guys like my ladybugs? These were gifted to me. I put a ladybug on everything that I make. Ladybugs are good luck and they are my symbol. So I wear them when I can, and I put one on everything that I make. And I'm comfortable in my top today. It was Friday, so Friday we don't have to dress up, and it's a long weekend, so yay. All right, let's get into it. I am going to show you a couple of whips that I have because that keeps me accountable. Like I said the last episode, when I did the walkthrough whip bill, that kept me accountable. I finished a lot of things, as you would have seen in episode 67. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it, please. Thank you. So I will show you what I'm working on now, and then we're going to get into Pinky J. My first whip is in this beautiful bag. I love this bag. Wait till you see the inside. If you don't know, I love project bags. I like pink things. So this project bag is absolutely stunning. In here, this is my Mrs. Babs Yowza Ball, and I showed this to you guys before. I'm almost done. I have a shawl. I keep my projects in a plastic bag inside of a project bag so that the remnants don't leave anything behind. And this beautiful shawl, pardon the crinkling, this beautiful shawl is going to be mine. It is How to Knit a Triangle Shawl by Vickie Howell, and it's on the Yarnspirations YouTube channel, and I will link that below. I absolutely love this. I parked it for a while. It wasn't in timeout, it was just parked because I was working on some other things, but I'm almost out of yarn, as you saw, so that's when I'm going to stop. This is a different type of boomerang shawl. You guys know I love my boomerang shawls, but look at how this yarn worked up. It's simply beautiful. The edging on this is very unique because it goes this way. You see that? Where it's slanting out. So that makes a nice pooling of the colors. So I'm almost done with this. Ah, I can't seem to get that going right. Here we go. This yarn feels fabulous. I'm not going to have to do a lot of blocking to this because it already has drape, and I am on my red lace Chalgu needles. So I will be finishing this, How to Knit a Triangle Shawl by Vickie Howell. I will post that link below. My next whip is a newer whip. This bag. Brooklyn Boy Knits. I had a chance to meet him at Stitches and have breakfast with him and talk to him, and he's super cool. In here, I have one of my favorite hats to knit, and that is a Ross hat by Ross Smells Like Yarn, and I will link his information below. The patterns are free on his website, but I do what's called a Ross hat with a P twist. So that means that I add something in there that's not part of the pattern. I am using Basic Stitch. I really like this yarn because it's anti-pilling and it feels good on my fingers. My fingers are very sensitive, so if a yarn doesn't feel good on my fingers, then I can't work with it. Henceforth, why a lot of projects in Whipville, which is a place where I keep my whips, were frogged because of that reason. That was one of the reasons. But I'm working on this. I work on this at lunchtime, during my lunchtime shenanigans, I call it. And what's different about this is Ross was talking about how he did a modification on one of the hats that he was doing that's not in the pattern section of his website. And he just simply increased from 80 stitches to 84. He cast it on 84, and he did a knit 3 purl 1 rib. So that's what this is. And the reason why it looks twisted is because I knit through the back loop. In my opinion, when you knit through the back loop, you get a nice edging and it's nice and springy. So I really like that. And of course, I will be finishing that. A Ross hat is one of my favorite hats to knit. They are quick and very cute. My last whip is also knit. I have been working on this hat for a while. I stopped working on it for a little bit to do some other things. This is one of my favorite patterns that I knit from, and I have gifted a couple of people one of these hats. It's called the Favorite Slouchy Hat, and it is a written pattern by, oh, her last name is Sande. Sande. I will leave that information in the description box for you and the link to where you can get the pattern. I am using Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek, and this is a low pill fiber as well. I like this yarn a lot. I've recently used it for several other projects, and I really like the way it feels and the way it works up knit wise. So I am almost done. Look at that. I am almost done with this. I just love the texture. I love the texture on this. So I'm at the point where I need to start decreasing. So that's why I stopped, because I have to pay attention when I'm decreasing. And then I also switch to DPNs. This is not black. The color of this yarn is dark heather gray. And I am using my wooden, oh, these are my Takumi wooden needles. This is going to be a gift. You guys were like, do you just gift all the time? So I have lovely subscribers that take the time to send me something just because. So if I can make something and gift them something, then that's what I'll do. Um, I also gift other podcasters things, and just because that's what I like to do. So this bag, I think I got this bag from, yes, Kim the Crafty Nomad. Her Etsy shop is Ebony, Ebonie, Ebony Pearl on Etsy. Love my project bags. Love them, love them, love them. Okay, those are all of my whips. So I'm being held accountable for those now. Let's talk about Pinky J. This is my Jamit knitting machine. It was gifted to me, and you know who you are. Thank you so very, very much. I got this last year, and I have been having an absolute ball with this knitting machine. So I thought I would come on here and share with you some of the things that I have made and also show you how easy it is to make a hat. In the thumbnail, I cranked right before I came on so I could show you what a panel looks like and how to form it into a simple beanie. It's really easy. It's a lot of fun. I still love to knit beanies. I still love to crochet beanies. But for instance, for Hat Not Hate, this year coming up, I am going to crank them out on Pinky J. It's faster, it's easier. I already have my labels. I'm ready to go. I just need to get more blue yarn and I'll be ready to crank them out on Pinky J. Donation hats, I can crank them out on Pinky J and possibly give more than I would if I have to do them by crocheting by hand or knitting by hand. Nothing wrong with that. I am not saying that at all. It's just that this is fun and there's a lot of different things that you can do with the knitting machines. So I also learned how to make ear warmers and I took off with that. Of course, my sister saw them, and when she came over, she took them. So I do have some to show you. So let's talk about that. In the thumbnail, you saw where there was yarn on Pinky J. You can knit circular or you can knit flat, and that's what this button is right here. Right here, you have tension. The first one is tight, so your hat will be snug. The middle one is medium. That's the one I use the most. And the outer one is large. So you do have a choice of making a small, medium, or large hat, depending on where you tuck your tension at. Now, I happen to have a row counter on mine. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. However, what I do is I put this pink guy on my finger, and your machine makes a click sound when you when you complete a row. Okay, I don't know if it'll do it now. I don't know if it'll do it now, and I don't want to put you guys through that. But anyway, and if you're looking at your machine, you can see when the white key comes. But when my white key comes around to here, it makes a click sound. So if the counter is not working, then this is on my finger right here, and I just hit that button and keep going. Now, I've done enough hats to know that once the yarn hits my table, which I have a desk in my craft room, once the yarn hits my desk and it starts doubling up, I can pretty much tell how many rows I already have. So if I'm making a beanie where I need a brim, then I need to keep going, so forth, etc. Okay, this was in the thumbnail. This was inside of Pinky J. And I mean, for those of you that are like, oh, I don't have a knitting machine, you may not want to watch, but keep watching because this might inspire you to get one, or think about it for a later purchase, or put it, as a save, kind of thing. These really are fun. And when my hands start to bother me, because your fingers do get tired, I have a hand exercise video that's always linked in the description box below, so check that out. Um, it gives my hands a rest from knitting and from crocheting. And you might think, okay, your arm will get tired. That can happen too, but you don't have to overdo it. And no, I don't use one of those drills. I don't care for those. People that do, that's cool. No worries there. But I'm not a drill person. I would just like to, crank my hats out. So I pulled this off of the machine right before I started to record. Okay. This is what your hat looks like when you pull it off. And they tell you to stretch it out a little bit. It's a perfect tube. Now, in my opinion and my experience, the best yarn to use with these machines is I Love This Yarn. This is I Love This Yarn by Hobby Lobby, or, oh gosh, I just recently used Basic Stitch, and I'll show you the hat that I used um, in the machine, the yarn, Basic Stitch. I'll show you the hat that I made with it. Basic Stitch does really well in the machine also too. And Caron Simply Soft does very well on the tightest tension. Caron Simply Soft does well. And I'll show you a hat that I made with Caron Simply Soft as well. So this is Hobby Lobby. I Love This Yarn in green. When you take your hat off, which probably is not the hardest thing to do, but it is difficult to do, because if you miss a stitch, the whole thing will unravel. So I say take your time and pull your stitches off. They give you the needles to do it with. They give you the little hooks. They give you everything that you need to be successful in getting your yarn off of the machine. You take your tube, you have yarn here at one end, and you have yarn here at the other end. Gently cinch the yarn closed. Okay, just pull that closed. Now, take your other end and pull it close. Now, some people pull their hats off of their machine. They leave it open like this, and maybe you have to go around here because otherwise you'll lose your stitches, and you can roll it up like that, okay? This is another way to do it, and this is the way that I do it because it's almost double brimmed, and it's really nice and it's really snug. So pull the other end together just slightly because you don't want to break your yarn. It's going to curl, but that's okay. Now, you take these, put your fingers inside of here. My hand is inside of here. I'm reaching for this end. Take this in along with this yarn and do like this. Pull that out. Now, this looks small because I didn't want to do a full size hat, but this will fit a teenager or maybe even an adult with a small head. So now look what you have. You just pull that one inside of the other end of this tube. So gently, you take one piece of yarn at a time and you pull it taut. Okay, take this other one and you pull it taut. Now, what you do is you tie these together in a knot, nice and snug. Don't break it. If you want, you take your needle and you can go back around this edge here. Take your hat, stretch it out. If you want to, you can flip it inside out. These are going to hang, so I'm going to secure this off camera because I want to keep this hat, but that's what you do. You pull those two strings together. So now this is up and look at that. Look at that. You have a nice brim. If you want to roll it up, you can. And like I said, this is small because this is just a sample. I'll show you some of the other full-size ones that I made. Or you can leave it down and that's a nice beanie. That's a nice beanie. You tie these together, you can put a pom-pom on top so it'll cover anything up here. And look what you have. A really nice beanie. It's not going to roll up on you. And that's how you do it. So my brother-in-law, who's 6 feet plus, big guy, he wears hats that I make. He's a really good supporter and he contacted me. He said, "Hey, I need another beanie." So I said, "Okay." I do his beanies on the medium tension. And he told me that he wanted gray and black. And he likes pom poms, believe it or not. He said, "Put my ball on top." So I'm like, okay. So this is the one that I made for him. This is the back because there is my ladybug. This is the front. There's my tag. My labels are done by All This Wood. And recently, I started going by the initials PC and KC, which is Pamela's Crochet and Knit Corner. So inside of this hat is all black. And of course, the outside is gray. Now, in order to get that, I did half gray and half black. And he said he wanted it to look like this. Some of my favorite knitting machine tutorials, one of my favorites is from Taylor Lynn. She has the bonfire beanie. She has several, most of her beanies are done on the knitting machine. I will leave that link below. I really like her and that's what this is. I really like her channel for making the full size beanies. She has another one that does not have a brim. I'll leave that link below. I'll leave her channel link below, and then you can just scroll through and see what she's talking about. So this one is for my brother-in-law, and I have pom-pom makers, so I use the small one, and it's very easy to secure. I tie it so that way if he wants to wash it, he can untie it and take it off. Then I was searching around and I came across the beanies with the X closure. And this is from a tutorial by Loving Every Stitch Ruby Baby Angie. And I love her tutorial on this. So I said, I want to try that, for him, maybe give my brother-in-law something a little bit different. So this is basic stitch yarn, and it does very well on the machine. So I followed her instructions. Now, when you do something like this involved crocheting, believe it or not, and it involved adding waste yarn to the machine first, and then you put in your yarn for your hat, because your waste yarn is like a lifeline, and your hat will not unravel until you pull your waste yarn out. So you have to put in waste yarn, and I did exactly what she said to do. And I love this. The closure, you have to fold it in after you crochet it off the waste yarn, and then you fold it in and then you seam it up, and look at that really cool closure. It's called an X closure or a box closure, and you have a really nice, very nice beanie. I also have circular wood tags too. There's my ladybug. He tells me all the time, don't forget to put your ladybug on and don't forget to put your tags on. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. So I will leave the link below for this also too. So fun. Then I I discovered how to make ear warmers. I was watching, well, it popped up on my feed, Mrs. Coffee and Crochet. She has a tutorial, and this is when I got fancy and started changing colors. So I was like, okay, this is Caron Simply Soft, and this is an ear warmer. It is blowing out. And look, and there is no jog. So that means that I laid the yarn right. It took a minute to get that going, but how cute is this? So I made this one. Ooh, this one's my favorite. My sister already claimed it. I made her leave it here so I could show it to you guys. And what I did was I used some of the Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn green. And then I used the Army, the Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. And I combined, like uh, the tutorial says to do. Very cute ear warmer. This is another one, but I used three colors. This color, the green, and the black. So all you do is the flat tube. This was flat like that. You leave it flat, but you have to put waste yarn on for those because you're going to have to close both of those ends up with a crochet hook. So I was like, I can crochet. This is great. So it is really cool to use your knitting machine. And if you have one, just explore. I'll show you. This is Kensington. He was my first model head. My sister gave him to me several years ago. He has on a knitting machine hat now. He has a small head, so that's why this is super big. But this is Caron Simply Soft yarn. And this is a big slouchy hat. I think I did this on medium tension. And for Caron Simply Soft, in my opinion, doing it on a tighter tension is much better because then it'll hold its shape. But this was a long tube. I stuffed it up inside, pulled the two yarns together gently, tied them tight, and you can even change it if you want. So I've had fun. I'll show you one more. I'll show you one more where I put a pom-pom on it. Hold on just one moment. Okay, here's one that I made on Pinky J. This is I Love This Yarn by Hobby Lobby, and I put a pom-pom on it. I ordered a bag of pom-poms from Amazon. They came in all different colors. What I did was, instead of using the little elastic band that comes with it, I took one of the darning needles that's curved. I threaded it with yarn and I just went through the pom-pom to make sure that I grasped a good portion of the pom-pom. So then I had yarn coming out of either side. I inserted it in the top and I tied it in a bow. But this is cute. These are cute, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. This is, wow, it's over 30 minutes. I apologize, but I wanted to get that in for you guys. So a couple of announcements. I am going to be a part of Seasonal Yarny YouTube Hop, hosted by none other than Kim the Crafty Nomad. And what that is every season I will make something that signifies the season for me. So we have, I think spring is coming up. So I have to make something that represents spring to me. And then I have to make a video, and you guys can hop over to all of us who are doing it. So I am excited about that. I already know what I'm going to make. I did have to order some yarn for it. But yeah, I know what I'm going to make. So that's going to be fun. Um, every season, I'll get to make something that represents that season. So I'm looking forward to that. And my last announcement is we have a winner. I am giving away, I started off the year with giving away this really cute crocheting is my kind of thing. This really cute crochet bag. Um, Simple but cute, a little bit of bling. And I'm going to throw in, this is a pink wallet. You can keep your cards and things in there. And this is a scan safe one where people can't walk by you and try to, scan something. So I like pink things, and I am going to send this to Sharon Williams. Congratulations, Sharon. I have already been in touch with her. She is the winner of the Crocheting is My Kind of Thing bag, and I will get that out to you next week. Thank you for everyone for participating. Be sure to keep an eye on my community page because that's where I am going to do things every now and then. So, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope everybody is taking care, and please be safe, and also please be kind. Okay? And I will bid you adieu wherever you are in the world, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.